is the Bitcoin macro and micro hypothesis. Now, please understand. All right, I am not a financial advisor. Yes, I came from a financial background. All right, I came up from a financial background. Okay, but I'm not a financial advisor. I want to make sure that is clear. And the word hypothesis here means educated guesses. Okay, so we don't just make guesses, but we make educated guesses based on data. Please understand that, okay? And then I want to give you a case for bull and bear scenario, okay? So what should you do in this bearish market? I think that's the very, very important thing. Most people know what to do when it's bull, but they don't know what to do when the market is bearish, okay? So I want to give you some pointers so that you can start to take some precautionary action and protect yourself, okay, if the market is going to further go down, okay? So please take note. So now first thing first, okay, now the most important thing that any one of you should understand when it comes to Bitcoin is the Bitcoin halving cycle. Now, if you don't understand, if you don't see this macro perspective, you're going to miss everything else, all right? So this is very important. Now, if you look into this, right, please understand we have already completed 3 halving. Now, the first halving, okay, somewhere in November 2012. Remember, Bitcoin was incepted in 2008. All right, the white paper was only introduced in 2008. Maybe the first transaction took place in 2009, but the white paper was officially, all right, introduced to the whole world by this anonymous individual or even entity. No one knows by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto. And no one knows who is Satoshi Nakamoto. Probably Satoshi Nakamoto is listening to me today. Okay, we don't know where is he. Okay, now up to 2010, this is an open source code. So he left this open source code to the team and he vanished. Now, can you just imagine, all right, a developer who actually built the whole thing and he vanished? I think he did the right thing, right? Because if he's still alive, he will be dead. The financial institution would have actually got to him and kill him, because he is the reason that this disruption in the financial network is taking place, right? Can you just imagine? And I believe what Satoshi has done is a gift to the whole world, especially if you are looking for the freedom financially, all right? So Bitcoin sets our life free, okay? So please take note of that, okay? This is so important. Now, let me bring you back to the cycle here. You need to understand what is happening here. So the first halving took place in November 2012. And remember, okay, from 50 Bitcoin per block, the reward now reduced by half. That is the meaning of the halving, half. So the reward reduced from 50 Bitcoin per block to 25 Bitcoin per block. But remember, okay, but please understand, by November 2012, the Bitcoin price is much higher compared to 2008. And then we had the next halving. Remember, halving happened every 4 years. All right, this is a fixed parameter or algorithm or protocol that has been built into Bitcoin. So no one can change it. All right, so every 4 years. So the second halving took place in 2016. And now the reward, okay, for the miners. Remember, when the miners are actually mining, the miners' job is to verify. Okay, verify and record all the transactions of Bitcoin into a public ledger called blockchain. Now, miners need to have a supercomputing power in order to mine those Bitcoin. So any miners that solve this mathematical problem and then verify and record first into the blockchain will be rewarded with a Bitcoin. So please understand that. Okay, so that's what happened when you send the transactions of Bitcoin. Every time you initiate a transaction, you execute a transaction, it goes through the miner. And that's what happened. So the miners will verify. Now, for the job of the miners, they will be rewarded with Bitcoin. Okay, I hope you understand that. Now, so the Bitcoin first goes to who? To the miners, right? Now, what happened with that Bitcoin with the miners? The miners will actually hodl it. They will hold it. And some miners, they will sell it in order to cover the operation costs. All right, so that's how the miners are managed to actually manage the mining operation. All right, so now the second halving took place in 2016. Come on, guys. If you are blessed with this insight, for some of you, probably this is new. All right, you may want to put in the chat room how blessed you are. Okay, I would really love to see those chat. Okay, so I hope that you are blessed today, because this is a little bit different. I just want to be able to give you an insight, okay, a macro perspective insight into this whole crypto industry, especially Bitcoin, because you must understand what you are getting involved, guys. Please understand, right? So now the second halving took place in 2016. So now the block, okay, the Bitcoin reward reduced from 5 to 25 to 12.5 Bitcoin. And then we had the third halving, which is basically in 2020. All right. Now you see the halving reward reduces or half from 12.5 from 6.25. Can you see that? So now you can see what is happening here is that the supply of Bitcoin is reducing in the fixed manner over time every 4 years. So this is what makes Bitcoin different than the fiat money. Now the fiat money is being printed by the central authority, by the bank, and they can print any amount anytime they like it. So that's the reason why if you have the fiat money, US dollar or Sing dollar or Japanese yen, whatever it is, all these are fiat money. Fiat money means this money is printed by the central bank. So now when they print money, they can print as much they like, whenever they like. And what we will having is that oversupply. Now, when there is an oversupply, we're going to have inflation. Remember that. But Bitcoin is not inflationary. Bitcoin is deflationary, because there is only fixed amount of Bitcoin, which is 21 million Bitcoin. That's it. All right. So if you look at the coin market cap, you can actually see that as of today, close to, okay, I think 18.9 or close to 19 million Bitcoin has already been minted. So we only have about 2 million Bitcoin left to be minted. All right. Now, probably some of you will be asking, right? How long will this take for another 2 million Bitcoin to be minted? Now, let me tell you something, guys. That 21 million will only arrive in year 2140. So that simply means another 2 million Bitcoin will take another 120 years to complete the whole minting. Why is it? Because of the supply of Bitcoin. Can you see that? That the supply of Bitcoin is reducing, is halving. It's been halved from 50 Bitcoin, 25 Bitcoin, 12.5 Bitcoin, and 6.25 Bitcoin. Now, when is the next halving? This is very important. All right. So you can see that the supply is reducing in the fixed manner, controlled manner over time. And this is what we call it as a deflationary. So now imagine anything that is deflationary, if you hold it, it is going, the value is going to go higher, right? That's how it works. So that is the good news, okay, for those of you who are holding Bitcoin. And remember, Bitcoin is not a short term, okay? It is a long term. If you would have bought Bitcoin in 2010, one Bitcoin was only $1. Today, one Bitcoin is about $37,000. Can you just imagine that? So now, when is the next fourth halving? The fourth halving will be in 2024. All right, it will be roughly around May to June 2024. Now, what happened to the supply? Look at it. The supply of Bitcoin will be 3.125 every block. Wow, can you just imagine that? So this is the reason why it will take another 120 years for Bitcoin to be fully minted. I hope that is a revelation to many of you, because some of you don't ever understand what Bitcoin is. Now, I want to show you something here. Now, if you look, all right, every time the halving happened, the first 2 years, can you see 2012, 2013, 2014, the Bitcoin price will go up. So the first 2 years, Bitcoin price will go up, and thereafter, Bitcoin price will go sideways, and then it will come down. All right, now look at it. The next halving, can you see Bitcoin price goes up? All right, this is also 2016, 17, 18. That is about 2 years. So every time halving happened, Bitcoin price shoot up. Okay, shoot up. Why? Because the supply reduced, the demand is increasing. So now, then look at it, what happened? It moves sideways, and then the third halving, Bitcoin moved up. All right, now let me ask you something. So this is 2020 to 2021 to 2022, which is roughly now. So now you can see Bitcoin is moving sideways, and Bitcoin may even go down before the next halving, and then we're going to probably see the next bull run. So now, if some of you thinking that probably, right, the bull run is going to happen sooner, okay, if you look into the history, the bull run only happened immediately after the halving. Now, can you just imagine that? So after the halving, 1 to 2 years, so that simply means the next bull run, we are talking about 2024, 25, around 2026. That is where the bull run is. So now we might be seeing more sideways for the next 1 or 2 years. We don't know, but that is why I am presenting to you the macro perspective. All right. Now, I hope you are blessed with this information, because this is so important for you to understand, because if you don't understand this, then you don't have a blueprint what is really happening with the market. All right. So I hope you are blessed with this information. So this is the first thing I want you to capture clearly, because if you can understand this, everything else will be easy. All right. So I hope you are doing well then. Okay. That is awesome. Now let's move on. Now, so as I mentioned, right, the next halving will take place somewhere in March or May, okay, 2024. So we are going to see probably another bull run, okay, 1 or 2 years. Now, please understand, one thing I really want you to understand is this, that the institutionalized player, okay, now in the first halving, 2012, 2016, we only have the retails. We don't have the institution. Institution never believed in Bitcoin. But today, okay, from year 2020 onwards, we have institutions who are already buying Bitcoin. So now, if institutions are already coming in to buy Bitcoin, that simply means Bitcoin is going to correlate with the institutionalized market, such as NASDAQ, S&P 500, and so on. And the institution player will actually manipulate the price of Bitcoin, which is already happening now. Can you see that? So this is important. So now, what we're going to see now in 2020 all the way, okay, through the next halving, is the institutionalized player going to come in to buy as many Bitcoin as possible, and they are only going to buy when the price is actually down, not when the price is up. All right, so please understand. So now the problem that we are facing now is this. Initially in 2008, 2012, 2015, the supply of Bitcoin exceeds the demand. But the problem now is that we have less supply. Can you just imagine 6.25 Bitcoin every block? Every block is 10 minutes. Now, in 2024, every block is 3.125. So the supply is reducing. So the institutionalized players are buying all the supply that is available in the market. Can you see that? So this is important for you to grasp. Okay, you need to understand this, and I hope this is really helping you to look from the macro perspective of the whole. Now remember, Bitcoin is important because 80 to 90% of all the coins will be affected. If Bitcoin dropped by 10%, alternative coin, altcoin will drop by 30 or 40%. So it is a ratio of 1 to 3. So please understand, that's why when Bitcoin dropped, the altcoin will bleed. All right, this is important. Now let's move on. So now I want you to look at the correlation here. Okay, this is important. So the first correlation I want you to look is the correlation of Bitcoin between the US dollar currency, which is the DXY. All right, so you can get into the trading view and get all this information, but I'm just going to give you a macro perspective and explain to you what is happening. Now, if you look into Bitcoin, okay, Bitcoin price has been coming down. All right, it was all-time high 69,000 and it's now coming down. We are now at about 37,000. And look at the Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance has also been coming down. All right, but look at what happened to the US dollar. The US dollar has been going up. Now, this is important. Can you see that? So the US dollar currency index has been going up. Now, this is the reason why Bitcoin is coming down. All right. So this is what we call, okay, a decoupling between the US currency and the Bitcoin. Now, why is it the US dollar is actually moving upward? What is really happening? Now, if you look, all right, Fed actually have initiated a few things to strengthen the US dollar. Number one, they are doing tapering of bond purchases. So that simply means there will be zero net purchases of bond by March 2022. Now, so the less bond is being purchased, the less money is going out, right? So they are controlling the money printing. So they're not going to print any more money. All right, so this is important. Now, the other thing is that we already hear that the interest rate hike is going to happen by March 2020. All right, so these are the initiatives. So every time Fed is trying to to introduce something, or they start to transmit those news, it will affect Bitcoin too, okay, cryptocurrency. So please take note of that. So this is the reality that is taking place currently. Now, the other thing is that the correlation of Bitcoin versus, okay, S&P 500 and NASDAQ. Now, this is another area I want you to also able to understand from a macro perspective view. So now, if you look into Bitcoin, okay, Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance is going down. And now, can you just imagine even NASDAQ and S&P 500 also going down? Why? Because of the institutionalized players who is already coming in to buy Bitcoin. So today, Bitcoin is traded in a lot of the futures, right? Bitcoin is being traded by a lot of the institutions. Can you see that? So there is a direct correlation between Bitcoin and also the conventional, okay, institute or the conventional stock market, S&P 500 and NASDAQ. So that's the reason why. That's the reason why. If NASDAQ and S&P 500 collapse or comes down, crashing down, Bitcoin is also going to come down and crashing down. So what is actually leading to this scenario of the market? Okay, let's understand what is actually going on in the totality or the macro perspective of the world today. That is really important. So the first thing that we are really seeing, okay, which I think this is really putting a lot of pressure in the market today is the gas dispute, okay, between Russia and Ukraine. All right. So this is something important that we need to understand, because this is basically this is the tension that is taking place. Okay, and I will call this as a geopolitical tension. All right. This is the civil war. This is not something new, but now it is getting really tensed up. All right. So because of this, what is happening? Europe is bleeding because remember the gas. Okay, gas is going to Europe from Ukraine and Russia. All right, so anything that is happening here is going to affect gas, is going to affect the oil, and it is actually affecting the stock market. And when the stock market, S&P, NASDAQ is affected, it's also affecting Bitcoin. All right, so I hope you can see, okay, these are some of the important macro perspective. Okay, I don't want to go too detailed, but I just want you to be able to capture what is really going on here. So if really there's going to be a war, okay, I believe Bitcoin is going to bleed further. All right, we can see Bitcoin really tumbling down. All right, now another reason, as I mentioned earlier, all right, is that we have the interest rate hike and the tapering by Federal Reserve. All right, so this is something important that you need to understand, because anything that Federal Reserve is doing at this moment is targeting the crypto market too. All right, so they have to strengthen the dollar. If they don't strengthen the dollar, okay, crypto such as Bitcoin is going to overtake, because remember, Bitcoin is a safe haven. All right, it's a safe haven. So that's the thing. So now you can see Fed actually tapering bond purchases, and it will continue as announced in December all the way to March 2022. Now, keeping higher inflation becoming entrenched is a major policy goal for the Fed. Can you see that? Remember, what is the inflation rate? That I think we had one of the historical inflation rate, which is 7.5%. That is just gigantic, all right? That is unbelievable. That shows that the economy is really at a worst case scenario, my friend. All right, and many people don't really know what is going on with the economy. So now, Goldman predicts the Fed will hike at every meeting, okay, from March. Can you see that? From March, they're going to now hike the interest rate by 0.5 point. and then they're going to hike by 0.8 and all the way. Can you see that? March, May, June. These are the date where the Federal Reserve will be actually meeting, or we call this as a FOMC. All right, so when they meet up, they're going to then increase the interest rate. They have to do this, or else the inflation is going to eat up the economy of this world. So now, every time Federal Reserve increase the interest rate, 2 weeks before, 2 weeks after, we will see the market comes down. So market will then start to recover, okay, 2 weeks or 3 weeks after, okay, the announcement been made. All right. So I hope this gives you some understanding what is going on. Now, if you are blessed with this insight, okay, if you see this revelation, okay, these are a wisdom that I hope that every one of you are beginning to understand what is the bigger perspective or the macro perspective. Okay, so it will be really awesome, okay, to be able to see every one of you who are coming here on board are able to see this perspective. Come on, guys, we are not here just for the scene strategy. The scene strategy is related with the macro perspective of the world, all right? And it is going to affect every one of us because all of us are under the same umbrella, which is the cryptocurrency market, okay? So I hope you are blessed with this insight. Now, let's move on. So now, okay, now, please understand, this is just my potential case for bull and bear. As I mentioned to you, I use the keyword hypothesis. It's an educated guesses. Now, I want you to look at what is happening here. Okay, if you look at January 2021, okay, we are somewhere here, right, in February. Now, can you see that the market actually came down exactly to the same line as June and January 2021? So can you see that the Bitcoin price actually are now testing again January 2021 and June 2021 price? All right, sorry, this is January 2022, okay, not 2021. So January 2022 is now retesting June and January. Can you just imagine that? So we are going back 1 year, okay, the price is going back to 1 year before. Wow. So this is really a discount, okay? I will say this is a discount for those of you who think that you have already missed the boat. You have not missed the boat. All right, you have not really missed the boat. This is a huge opportunity for every one of us to be able to buy the bottom. Can you just imagine that, right? Now, so if the price drop, okay, this is the best scenario. If the best scenario, I just want you to see the potential case here. Okay, so currently we are at about 37. All right, if the market drops, okay, it could actually retest a support of 36,200. Now, if it cannot hold, then we're going to go down to 33,600. Now, 33,000 is a very, very important support. Very important support. All right, now if this support break, all right, I foresee we can go down to 25,000. Because remember, this is where we have another CME gap, which I've already explained in my previous videos. All right, so if you look at the prediction, okay, most of the prediction is actually on the dot. All right, so these are the potential best scenario. Okay, so please take note. Now, it's important for you to take note, okay, of this scenario, especially if you are going to be involved with trading crypto. So now, what is the bull scenario? Now, the bull scenario, on the other hand, all right, is that if the market goes up, the market has to actually test. Okay, first thing, it has to test the 38,000. Okay, if we can break the 38 resistance, then it has to test the 42,000 before you can actually go further at 44,000. Right? So 44,000 will be the most hardest resistance in order to break. And remember, every time Bitcoin makes a new support, there will be a new resistance. So now, if you look from a bigger perspective, okay, more resistant upside for Bitcoin. So it is not easy for Bitcoin to move upward because there is a lot of the resistance there Bitcoin has to break. But there is not much resistance to come down. Please understand that. So now, if we don't have the money flow, the volume, the momentum, And we cannot, if the institution or the whales cannot push this Bitcoin price above 44, we're going to come down hard. All right. So I just hope that you understand now. Okay. So this is important so that at least now you have some macro target. So you know exactly if the market goes down, where it goes, if the market goes up, where it goes. Okay. So this is important. So now, I just want to quickly give you some insights into navigating the bear market. I think this is really important. So if you are already into the crypto space, all right, or we call it as a cryptoverse, all right, you need to understand what to do when the market is bear. We don't have problem with the bull market. Everybody knows what to do when the market is bull because everybody is bullish, right? But what happened when it is bearish? All right, now, first thing first, understand that cash is king. All right, I know that some of you in the crypto space probably you will disagree, okay, but this is true. At this moment, if the market is going down, let's say if the market goes down to $25,000 per Bitcoin, if you have cash, can you buy now Bitcoin at the bottom? Wow, what a opportunity for you to be able to buy at the bottom. So this is important. That's why I always remember, okay, to keep cash because you can use the cash. I know that some people, they are smart. When Bitcoin has 60,000, they converted to cash. And now they are waiting to buy at the bottom. You are smart if you do that, right? Number two is that you can hedge by swapping the risky asset into stable coin, such as USDT, or you can also do it for alternate commodity, okay, such as gold, silver, and so on. So now you can see, because Bitcoin price going down, stock market going down, people are now moving into gold as a safe haven. So gold price is coming up, am I right? If you look into it. All right, so you can convert your Bitcoin into stable coin and hold it in US dollar, okay, USDT, so that it doesn't actually fluctuate. All right, so please understand, this is just some insight, okay, into navigating, okay. You can choose what you want to do. The third thing is that, remember, okay, now this is important. I need to explain this carefully so that you understand what is really happening. Now, when the market is bearish, the worst coin to hold are the alternative coins or the altcoin. All right, so I don't want to mention those name of the coin, but these coins are most risky, especially the altcoin. Now, as I mentioned to you, right, if Bitcoin drop by 10%, altcoin will drop by 30 to 40%. So that's the reason why if you're holding altcoin when the market is bearish, you're going to bleed the worst compared to Bitcoin. All right, so please understand that. I think people are already feeling now. All right, people are already feeling now. Look at a lot of this altcoin, it's just dropping. All right, and for the altcoin to go up, it is going to be much difficult than the Bitcoin. Okay, so please understand that. Now, the fourth thing is that remain calm and exercise extreme patience. Okay, so if you are someone who is holding it, then you have to remain calm and extreme patient because you have to wait for the market to rebound. All right, and last but not least, okay, take a break. All right, take a break. Okay, take a break. If you are a person who cannot handle the bearish market, I would say take a break, wait till market recovers, and then you re-enter into the market. All right, so these are just some of the insights into navigating the bear market. And I normally what I do, I convert my crypto into cash or I convert into USDT. All right, I hold either in one, and then I wait for the market to go down. I use my USDT to buy back Bitcoin at the bottom, and then I wait for Bitcoin price to go up, and then I convert back to USDT. All right, so you can actually swap. These are hedging. All right, these are fantastic hedging. Okay, so please take note. So I hope you are blessed. Okay, if you are blessed.